Hey everyone, glad you're back for some more Melli talk. We are shifting gears, changing things up a bit. Going to be doing some transfer talk. As we know, this time of the year, there's a lot of speculation on where some of our Melli footballers and other Iranian footballers might be headed. Lots of excitement, of course. And once again, joining me for this edition of Melli talk, my main man, Dara Zarandi. They also call him DZ. Dara, glad to have you back. And quick question: does anyone do some people actually call you DZ, or did I just come up with that?
Yeah, it's funny you actually mentioned that. That was my nickname back in the high school days on the high school basketball and soccer teams.
All right, cool. Well, obviously I had no idea about that, but what can I say? Good guess. So let's go
Lucky
and get this
guess.
started. Let's go ahead and get this started. And for our main agenda, we'll be talking about Ali Alipour. And so let's just think about this for a moment. The question is Ali Alipour of Perspolis headed to Europe? My question for you now, Dara, is, do you think Ali Alipour has what it takes? I mean, is he good enough to play in some European leagues?
Yeah, in some European leagues for sure. In comparison to a lot of the other forwards in Iran, I don't rate him as highly as, for example, like most of the guys who are in Team Melli right now, Kavirazai, Osmoon, so on and so forth. I think those guys are a class above him, in my personal opinion. But nonetheless, he is still a good forward. Definitely good enough to play in a league like Belgium, the Netherlands, some of those entry-level European leagues that feed into the top leagues. I could definitely see him playing in one of those teams.
From June 2018 to August 2019, Ali Alipour's value, according to Transfermarkt at that time, was 1.10 million. So we're going to share his current market value in a moment, but his value has gone down a little. But clearly, you can't be surprised that his value was pretty high. In 2018, even about a year ago, because he was having some pretty good seasons in the Persian Gulf Pro League.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. That year, he won the Golden Boot, I believe, and he has been a consistent performer in the Iranian league for a long time. So again, he definitely is a really good player. He has a lot of good assets. He's a really, really fast, really high IQ player, in my opinion. Finds the back of the net all the time, and a consistent performer for Perspolis and in a team that is always contending and competing for a championship. So again, definitely a good player who can, in my opinion, go to a league like Belgium, go to a league like the Netherlands and do well. We know he's had some offers in the past, and it's been unclear as to why some of those offers didn't pan out. So we'll see what happens.
And when looking at his current market value, according to Transfermarkt, right now his value is at 880,000. So like I said, his value went down a little. But, a statistic I would like to make a comparison with is that let's not forget that back in 2017, Kaveh Rezai signed with Charleroi. And at that time, his value was 550,000. So with bringing up that statistic, Dara, do you feel like this is something where, Ali Alipour should be able to say, hey, you know what, that window is still open to go to Europe?
For sure. I mean, the sooner he realizes it, the better. I mean, and just on the subject of value, my personal opinion, the sooner you go to Europe as an Iranian player, the higher your value will be in the long run, because I firmly believe that a lot of these guys who do go to Europe, a lot of them, they perform very well. So they have their values in the hundreds of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of euros, simply because they're not as a proven player in a European league yet. As soon as they go to Europe, like you could use Kavirazai, for example, his value skyrocketed once he went to Charleroi and actually performed very well. So not saying that I expect Alipour to perform at the same level that we saw Kavirazai did. Again, I don't think that they're in the same class. I think that nonetheless, if Alipour goes there and is able to, let's just say, for example, score anywhere between 8 to 10 goals in a season, which I think is realistic for him, his value would significantly go up. So the younger he is and the sooner he does that, the more it's going to positively affect his impact in the long run.
All right, definitely like your explanation, and it makes a lot of sense. So with that, though, let's go to, let's talk about some of these reports. Now, rumor has it that 3 teams have expressed interest in Ali Alipour. Those 3 teams, Almeria of La Liga 2, Sint-Truiden of the top flight of Belgium, and Rio Ave of the Portuguese Primeira Liga. But first, let's start with Almeria and a potential player that Ali Alipour can replace on the roster. Now, currently, center forward Juan Munoz, who has a market value of 1.32 million, is on loan at Almeria until the end of the season. Then he'll have to return to Leganes. So maybe this is a player that Ali Alipour can replace when taking a look at the roster and comparing market values. But Dara, based on what you were talking about earlier and how you mentioned that Netherlands or possibly Belgium would be, potential landing spots for Ali Alipour, do you feel that maybe playing in the second flight of football in Spain might be kind of a stretch for Ali Alipour?
No, I don't think it's a stretch. I think that's a pretty comparable league to level-wise to Belgium or the Netherlands, as I was just saying, are the 2 ideal spots from my opinion. So I think that would be a good fit. If it's a place that he could come in and have an impact, the ability to make an impact and start rather soon, I definitely think that's a level that he can succeed in.
All right. Well, for me, from my point of view, La Liga Dos, I mean, for me, the fact of, of an Iranian footballer being in Spain, that right there excites me. Of course, it's been a while. We do remember Javadine Kunam and Masoud Shojai having good careers in Spain as well. But I think if Ali Alipour were to play in the second level of Spanish football, I mean, definitely would just be very beneficial. Now, going to the next rumor, there earlier about a couple months ago, from some Belgian sources, there was a rumor that Sint-Truiden was also interested in Ali Alipour. Now, a player that I could see Ali Alipour replacing on Sint-Truiden's roster is Facundo Colidio, 20 years old, from Argentina. He's already returned to Inter Milan after his spell came to an end with Sint-Truiden. Now, I think Ali Alipour could be a great replacement for Colidio on Sint-Truiden's roster. So, you mentioned Belgium and Netherlands, and clearly, I like to say that I don't think it would be such a problem for the Iranian invasion of Belgium to continue. So, what can you say about Alipour possibly playing for Sint-Truiden?
I think that's honestly an ideal place for him. Sint-Truiden is a place, especially for Iranians, if they remember when Kuchanejad was playing there, brings back some good memories. So it's a place where, in my opinion, he's going to be able to make the biggest impact and the biggest name for himself. I think that just in regards to him reaching his max potential, if he were to ever play in a league higher than Belgium, it would come from just simply going to Belgium, doing well, finding the back of the net 8 to 10 times, and seeing if he gets an offer from, let's just say, a league like maybe France in League One. If that ever does happen, I think his best chance to reach that is by going to Belgium and playing in a team like Sint-Truiden and seeing what he can do.
Okay, now the next scenario, last but not least, but this scenario I'm about to present has got to be just ideal. I mean, hands down, I don't think we could find a better situation. Now, another report is that Rio Ave of the Portuguese Primeira Liga has also expressed interest in Ali Alipour. Now, the report here shows that Mehdi Taremi, who has a current value of 3.52 million, the report says that Taremi could be sold to Benfica or Sporting Lisbon in the summer. And as we know, Sporting has made an attempt before in the past to try and sign Mehdi Taremi. He is a very coveted player from the top clubs of the Portuguese Primeira Liga. So this situation, just imagine it, is that Rio Ave ideally would be okay with selling Mehdi Taremi, of course, for a price that they would find very suitable. And with that, the interest is that they would like to bring in Ali Alipour to replace Taremi at that striker position. So, I mean, what is your opinion on this? I mean, is this basically what you would call the perfect situation for Ali Alipour?
Yeah, I think it's really good. It's a really good situation, a really good prospect. Um, Ultimately, again, that's a league that his level, I think, is suited for. Um, just having watched Rio Ave a lot and seeing the way their team plays, I think he would be a good fit. Um, Again, I don't really think he's in the same class as Taremi, so I don't expect him to come in and wow everyone the way Taremi did. But I definitely think he could go there and do good enough and be another good representative for Iran and Portugal, because I definitely think that's one of the leagues where Iranians have been well represented. So definitely in favor of that too. That would definitely be a very suitable destination for him, I think.
So out of all three of those destinations we just talked about, La Liga Dos, the top flight of football in Belgium, the Portuguese Primeira Liga, out of all three of these, which one do you see being the most realistic possibility for Ali Alipour?
I would probably give Rio Ave the highest possibility, just because they're coming fresh off of buying an Iranian player who came in and did well, and they're looking to sell him for a pretty nice profit. So again, the same thing that the in their head they might be able to do the same thing with Alipour. I think that's the most likely scenario. I think the best scenario for him would be to go to Belgium and play in St. Truden. Um, Very debatable in terms of like what would be better, I think, between Rio Ave and St. Truden, but I'm just going to go with St. Truden simply on merit of his level and his style being more suited for the Belgian league. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. I think it's a win-win. If we see him in Rio Ave, that would be awesome too.
What earlier I mentioned the Iranian invasion of Belgium. I mean, clearly we're definitely seeing a decent amount of Iranian players in the Portuguese Primeira Liga as well. And I feel like, judging from, which the football you like to watch and the football you pay attention to, I think you'd be more interested in seeing. I think you want to see more Iranians going to Portugal. That is a pretty good league.
Definitely. No, the Portuguese Premier Liga is a very good league. Has tons of great teams aside from just the top three of Sporting, Benfica, and Porto. So anytime we have players who have the opportunity to go there, hopefully we see that wave continue.
Dara, as always, great to have you on the show, and looking forward to our next edition of Team Melli Talk.
Thanks, Art. Pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you soon. In the meantime, you know what to do. Get to our website, teammellitalk.com. You know where to find us on social media at Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. We'll see you on the next edition of Team Melli Talk.